So the NYPD, and my grandfather was one, is 10,000 light, 10,000 under what they should be. You're going to have another 10,000 out of there. That is going to give license to every violent miscreant to do whatever they want to do, which they're pretty much doing now with the no bail law, okay? And Bragg is the DA, and he doesn't prosecute anything. So it's a free fire zone on crime. The other thing is economics. So where I live is just outside the New York City boundary. Real estate in my town has gone up 20%, 20, since Mamdani announced. And that's all New York City selling their places, getting the hell out before he comes in. Because what he's going to do is put draconian taxation on everything, not just your income, but everything's going to double because he's going to boom, boom, boom. New York City tax on this, New York City tax on that. And corporations are going, can't do it. So they're going to go to Tennessee, Florida, Texas, the Carolinas, and the people who have homes in the 5 boroughs are moving to Connecticut, Long Island, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, wherever it may be. So that flow out, I estimate to be at 500,000 people in 4 years under Mamdani. 500,000 will leave the New York City area.
You talk in the book, you talk a bit about the moral struggle between good and evil. And I'm wondering, in a time where we're all on this thing, where we're all being hit with Instagram, TikTok, all the crazy stuff that's coming through and the gender confusion and everything else, where do you think Americans should be getting a moral, well, let's ask it this way. Do you think politicians have any responsibility to be giving a moral guidance, or should that purely be coming from, say, like a religious perspective?
Well, they can't give moral guidance because most of them are immoral. So how can they do that? But they can certainly lay out standards of behavior. And that is very important in the public arena. Because, look, in New York City, where I am, you can sell heroin, fentanyl on the street, and nobody's going to arrest you. And even if they do take you in, you won't get prosecuted. That's flat out wrong. You're selling poison to people. You're killing people, enslaving people. Children are getting abused. And you're not going to do anything about it? Come on. That's the kind of stuff where politicians have to get loud. And most of them are cowards. And it's like the clerics. So I'm Catholic. I still go to church every Sunday. And when I was in Catholic school, there was a clear right and wrong. Okay? You do this, you go to heaven. You do this, going to be a little hot for you. Gone. Okay, that's gone. So religion is dissipated to a stunning degree. And a lot of kids don't ever hear about it. They don't know what the Bible is. They don't know what standards of behavior, that is easily imparted by politicians and clerics, but a lot of them are just afraid to do it.
So since you mentioned you are in New York City, and Mamdani, a guy who I think is replicating a lot of the ideas that some of the people you've written about in the book brought to fruition, how bad do you think New York City will actually get if he becomes mayor?
Well, Mamdani is doing the Fidel Castro playbook almost word for word. So you remember in the late 1950s, there was a dictator running Cuba named Batista. You saw The Godfather 2, and that was pretty accurate. Batista's in pocket of the mafia, organized crime. Horrible, horrible. And the Cuban people had nothing. Castro's charismatic guy. He's got the little beret. Comes in and says, look, I'm getting this guy out of here. We're going to have a fair economy. We're all going to be better. Vote for me. And you really don't have to vote because we're going to take it over. We got more guns now. And that's what Castro did. Mamdani, I think, has studied Castro's speeches because the same patterns are in play. Oh, I'm not a communist. Oh, no, I'm a democratic socialist. Oh, that's a bunch of crap. He would confiscate everything you have, Dave, like that, if he could.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree.
All right, that's what he wants. He wants to confiscate private property. He wants the government to run everything and to give to the have-nots or whatever it may be. Okay. If he's elected, then two things happen right away. The police department dissolves because even now, many, many experienced officers are retiring, looking for other work. They're trying to get out.
They're down here with us in Florida, Bill. That's where they've all come.
There's a lot of people going to Florida. So the NYPD, and my grandfather was one, is 10,000 light, 10,000 under what they should be. You're going to have another 10,000 out of there. That is going to give license to every violent miscreant to do whatever they want to do, which they're pretty much doing now with the no bail law, okay? And Bragg is the DA, and he doesn't prosecute anything. So it's a free fire zone on crime. The other thing is economics. So where I live is just outside the New York City boundary. Real estate in my town has gone up 20%, 2-0, since Mamdani announced. And that's all New York City selling their places, getting the hell out before he comes in. Because what he's going to do is put draconian taxation on everything, not just your income, but everything's going to double because he's going to boom, boom, boom. New York City tax on this, New York City tax on that. And corporations are going, can't do it. So they're going to go to Tennessee, Florida, Texas, the Carolinas, and the people who have homes in the 5 boroughs are moving to Connecticut, Long Island, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, wherever it may be. So that flow out, I estimate to be at 500,000 people in 4 years under Mamdani. 500,000 will leave the New York City area.
And take the tax money with them, which then will only further
They're all affluent people. Right.
What do you think about the class welfare or the class warfare problem that it will also create? To me, this will end sort of like the end of Gangs of New York or the end of Dark Knight Rises, where why wouldn't the poor people of downtown be ransacking the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side and taking back what is, rightfully theirs? Do you see that it will, or would you predict that it would end in that type of violence?
That would be irresponsible to predict that. With the diminished police presence, possible. But I wouldn't predict it. Social order is something that most people want. Even poor people want it. They don't want to have to go out and fear for their lives, and their children can't even go to school. So if I had a bet, I would say that would not happen. What will happen is a terrible rise in individual crime and a depravity, public depravity, homeless, drug addicts running all over the place, you name it. That'll rise to record levels, so quality of life will just fall apart.
What do you think?
That's the scenario.
What do you think Mamdani really wants? If we were really trying to steel man his arguments the best we could, what do you think he is actually trying to accomplish in New York City?
Well, he wants power. And that's a commonality of all politicians. They want power. But he's only 33 years old. I wouldn't even put him in charge of a Burger King.
Right.
Because he's not. And the reason I'm not saying that for because he's a communist or whatever. There's some brilliant communists. But he doesn't have any record of being able to achieve anything. So you and I have achieved. So Rubin O'Reilly, we've achieved. All right, we've done stuff that's been successful. It's come out of our operation, our heads, and it's worked. What has Mamdani done?
He's been a marginal legislator in Albany. That's it. And his mom's rich.
Look, you could be selling hot dogs and be a marginal legislator.
Right.
And it's not, you don't need a PhD. All you need is a car to show up. These are brilliant people up there in Albany.
If you're tired of the mainstream media circus and want more honest conversations, go check out our media playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a wide variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.